Yeah, it's been a bad couple weeks for dads. Nico Maliava's dad, Shadur Sanders' dad, Halliburton's dad. Like, it's been a over the top. It's just like, it's just, it's hard because I've said this before. I'm objective about everything except my kids.
Yeah.
Nobody's objective totally about their kids, and you want to be very protective. But we've had a bad dad stretch here.
It's tough being a dad. Let's be real. Now, to defend Halliburton's dad just a little, he did apologize, as quickly as it took after the game on social media for his actions. I am surprised, Colin, that Pacers security just let guys in the front row walk on the court. What is that? And by the way, Milwaukee Bucks, you got a franchise superstar who everybody in the league knows is probably on his way out. You don't rush over to protect him when you see that? Giannis had to take this for 15 seconds at the beginning. Very strange. And Colin, again, I'm going to go back to it. You and I disagreed Monday. But the physicality in the NBA playoffs is getting people amped up. There is a gladiator vibe to some of these games. I don't like it. And I'm telling you, we saw Rockets-Warriors was very close to an altercation. Jimmy Butler, Draymond, Dylan Brooks, obviously. But all these series are getting super physical, and the refs need to step in, or we're going to see something ugly. I'm just putting on warning. The league needs to do something.
No. The league does not need to do something. The players need to understand how to play within this structure, because this is awesome. You want to see this level of intensity. I don't want to see actual fights. I don't want to see anyone get hurt. I don't want to see anything dirty. Let's be very, 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 very clear about that. But this whole going to right to the line, right to the limit, that's what you want to see. You want to see these players care. That's what you want to see. You want to feel like the players on the court care as much as you do. And so I've been loving the physicality. Again, I don't want to see anyone get hurt. I don't want to see fans getting involved and stuff like that. But that's up to the players. That's up to the players understanding, hey, I can take it to this, but I'm not going to swing a punch. I'm not going to undercut you and take out your ankles, right? That's up to the players. The players need to man up, right? It's not up to the league, because otherwise the league gets involved in a way where now they're blowing the whistle every 5 seconds. And I do not want to see game 6 of a back and forth series be decided at the free throw line. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So it's on the players. It's absolutely on the players to understand how intense we can go, how much trash we can talk, and how physical we can get, and aggressive, and etc., and still play within the game. That's how this works. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it exciting. And in terms of the whole thing with Giannis and Halliburton's dad and all that, listen, again, I keep going back and forth with this, honestly. I think they both should have handled it better, Giannis and, Halliburton's dad. But I also think, Giannis is the man there. I understand they're both men, obviously. But, Giannis is the professional. He's the one with the job, right? He's the one that's on the court. He needs to be better to just walk away from that. Whereas Halliburton is at this point just a fan and an older man at that, and Giannis is 9 feet tall and he's got 100 pounds of muscle on him. Just walk away. No matter what he's saying. He could be saying the worst thing you could ever imagine. He could be talking about your family, your kids, whatever, and it doesn't matter. You got to be the professional in that regard. And again, I'm not excusing Halliburton's, dad's behavior. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it like that at all. But when something like that does happen, at that point, I'm like, Giannis should have done a better job to just walk away, de-escalate it, etc., because I'm holding Giannis to a higher standard than some dude's father in that regard, in that moment. That's kind of where I'm coming from. But I'm seeing such extreme takes. Ryan Clark came out and said, his father should never be allowed to a basketball game ever again, and that's a disgraceful take. I don't, from what I've been able to hear and see, it's not I heard his father said something oh my gosh, I can't believe he said that. Oh my God, did he really, there was never a swing. It was just seemed like it was just kind of typical back and forth trash talk that just got a little bit heightened and, definitely a little over the top. And there should be, I don't know, some sort of repercussion to a degree or some sort of discussion and pretty much saying this can't ever happen again. And if it does, then there's going to be serious repercussions, et cetera, et cetera. But to just be like, he's never allowed to a basketball game ever again. Like that's some bootleg commentary, man. That's so extreme. It just is. That is such an, like, we can have this conversation and discuss some of these things that, go beyond the game, and we don't have to come out the gate with like the most extreme takes. So this guy's never allowed to watch his kid ever play a basketball game ever again because he had an incredibly lukewarm interaction that got a little heated. Again, if they were punching each other, if they were fighting, if this turned out, if this turned into what it was with the Pacers years ago, right? Like, like, fine. Then I could obviously understand that. But like, what are we saying here? Like, this is the same as doing something so extreme that you're going to get banned for life from NBA games and never get to see your son play ever again. Giannis shouldn't even want that. Giannis should even just be, again, the bigger man. Be like, nah, I don't want that. That's extreme. Go talk to him. Make sure something like that never happens again. But like, no, I don't want him to never not be able to see his son play. Yeah, I know we've been jawing back and forth and having all these issues, and Halliburton's talking to Dame and all that type of stuff. Like, yeah, that's just part of ball, man. Just part of ball. But Giannis is also kind of soft in that regard. When he was just kind of like, every time he loses, he always has something to say about it, right? Oh, Jordan didn't win all these years. And he's like, I don't know what what the Pacers are talking about. I already won my championship. And it's like, well, Giannis, people were talking about you being one of the greatest basketball players ever, and you've been to one finals and you won once. Michael Jordan, you're right. He didn't win every year, but he won 6 times. Okay? Yeah, you're right. LeBron James has lost a lot in the finals. He has 4 rings. Steph Curry has 4. Draymond Green has 4. KD's got 2. Like, in basketball, when you're considered to be like a legend, a superstar, amazing, unstoppable, something we've never seen before, like, unfortunately, the world you live in is like 1 ring is not enough. Not enough. So, using that to be like kind of like your trump card against the Pacers, I mean, like, against Halliburton and stuff like that, like, I don't know. That, again, it's just, that's a little soft. It is. And again, I see this story from all the different angles. I can easily take both sides in this situation. And in a lot of ways, I am. I really am. But, like, again, I look at it through the lens of the athlete first. And I think to myself, if I was talking to Giannis, if I was Giannis's friend, manager, whatever, or if I was Giannis and then all this happened, this is what I would say. But Giannis, don't just leave. I don't care what he says. Walk away. Always walk away. And when you lose, don't bring up that you already won. That looks worse, quite frankly. Just don't do that. You can say that to your family and be like, yeah, it helps me sleep at night knowing that I got my ring. But like saying that publicly like that, do you imagine Kobe Bryant saying that? Seriously, imagine Kobe Bryant if he had 1 ring, even when he had multiple rings. When he loses, you think he's like, well, I got many, like he didn't say that. Neither did Michael Jordan. Well, also Michael Jordan just kept winning. It's a little different. Like, Steph doesn't say that. Like, yeah, of course, sometimes fans are booing you. You like point to your ring finger to be like, yeah, I got it. I got it. You don't, and type of thing. But like, when it's all said and done right now, it's just like Giannis is not winning enough. When Giannis first won his first ring, you had people like Brew and company talk about like, this guy's ready to go on his LeBron James, run and win multiple rings. And he hasn't been close to that, quite frankly. And you can blame the Bucks, you can blame injuries, doesn't matter. Just the reality of this. That's just the reality of the situation. And I'm a fan of Giannis. Like, I'm not hating on Giannis, but like, we know in the NBA, it's rings over everything. And just winning 1 ring in basketball is not, it's not a Super Bowl where at least you get that 1 Super Bowl. Everyone's like, okay, winning Super Bowls are hard, and you're a quarterback, you got the 1 ring, that's good. Like, in basketball, it has always been ring after ring after ring. Like, that really has been, especially in the last, like, 20 years. It's about, Kobe, Shaq trying to get 3, 4, 5. Everyone's really trying to get to 6, really, is the number. People think that LeBron James having 4 rings is not enough. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. So you think 1 is enough? You think 1 is enough and people are ripping LeBron for only having 4? Come on. So if you want to start kind of talking about that, and if he was less of a mega superstar, then I could understand. But like Giannis is on a different level. He's on a different level. So yeah, this was a weird situation, honestly. I always hate having to cover stuff like this, but some of the conversation got a little wonky, so I figured, hey, why not? But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about I guess about 2 things. One, about the playoffs getting too chippy, according to J-Mac, as well as Giannis in this confrontation with Halliburton's dad. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.